welcome to the channel. This is Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, theologist, New South Wales, Central Coast, Australia. One of the hardest things I've experienced in my life is going through the psychological dynamics of a breakup. And being a communicator, somebody that likes to talk, it's really hard when you do break up with somebody and the communication is nil. And I guess in many, many ways, that's how it's supposed to be. I guess at the time when you break up with somebody, I guess that's when you move on, and there's no question about it. Lead-ups to a breakup can come in many different scenarios. All my breakups have never been, from my side, for bad reasons like affairs or things like this. It's always been a result of a lack of resolve. Something has happened where it couldn't be resolved. And coming from a family of resolve, it's really hard to comprehend how people can just let things go. I've met women where something will happen at the beginning of the relationship, and I'll do my part to fix my part. And they'll ring up and go, I'll ring them up and go, well, can we just da-da-da-da? And they'll go, well, I'll come straight over. And you got these people that are running around doing everything at the start of the relationship. They're writing poems that would make William Shakespeare look like Romeo and Juliet. Makes it look like it's boring, some of the poems I've received from women at the start of relationships. Been absolutely outstanding. I don't think I could pen such brilliance. I mean, limerence has got a real constructive side to it. I've sat down with new girlfriends and watched videos on limerence just to make sure we're on the right track. It doesn't make any difference. People are what they are, and they track the way they track. There's nothing you can do about it. People track the way they track, and you can't change it. You can sit there and watch all the videos and do all the information and, try and protect everything as much as you can. But at the end of the day, people are who they are, and they'll be what they'll be. And things surface after the relationship started. I've been cruel too. I can't say that it's all been cruelty on the part of the others, and a lot of it's not cruelty. A lot of it's circumstantial. I've had some nasty ones. The last woman I was married to, man, that was horrifying. But lucky I had my head around the situation. But it was absolutely horrifying, the behaviour, and costly as well, in more ways than one. Some people I just don't think can make it. And it's not just them, it's you as well. If you break the relationship up, you didn't make it just as much as they didn't. It's not one or the other, it's a combination of the two. And I just did an article where the guy said that he was still in a relationship with his mother, and it was costing him his relationships. And it took a lot of therapy and stuff to repair what had happened to him and how it was ruining his relationships. My last relationship that went for a while had a lot going against it. And I think we did a pretty good job of what we had. It was time to call it. I think she knew that as much as what I did. And we've done it right. There hasn't been a word since. And so some breakups are good, and others aren't. I've had some situations that have been difficult, might be one way of putting it. I've seen, yeah, it's been interesting, my life. And now that I'm getting old, and this will happen to a lot of these people as well, that we could have had good relationships, they'll realise once age creeps up on you, you start to get a little bit concerned with the time that you've got left. There's people dropping dead left, right and centre all around you, and that's not enough laughing matter, but you start to think, gee, my number could be up any tick of the clock. And so there's no time to waste in these situations. Life's real, time's real, you don't get it again. And some people are just persistent in choosing a destructive way of life. That's all there is to it. There's no point you worrying about it. There's nothing you can do about it. And if you've presented yourself the best that you possibly can and the situation's worn you out, then you just have to accept that. We've all made mistakes in terms of our attitude and the way we deal with things. But if you're being pushed to the brink and, you've got to just say to yourself, I'm beat, psychologically beat, then that's all there is to it. Sometimes we change as we go along, and we meet people for a purpose, and when that purpose is fulfilled, that's it. There's nothing we can do about it. The universe has had its way with us, and hopefully we can leave a legacy to that person that will help them for the rest of their life. Sometimes there's memories that they won't want to have. Other times there's memories that they will want to have. It's all different. It all works in different ways. And sometimes our mentalities change as we go along. We change into different outlooks and different things, and that can cause people not to be as attracted to us as what they were anymore. And we have to accept these things. If we're not married, it's, I wouldn't say it's any less committed, but there is that element of not having to go through all the embarrassing rigmarole that comes with a divorce. I always thought when you got married it was for life, but after 2 marriages, the second one being my last one, I don't think there is such a thing. The people change. People have different motives. People come for different reasons. And when those reasons are met, when that part of their life is fulfilled, whatever it was for coming across your path, you have to accept that that's it. And you have to have inside you a coping mechanism that keeps you attached to yourself, but also attached to your partner in a way in which if they decide or you decide that, it's time to move on, the collateral damage isn't that bad, because there's no way that anyone can go through a breakup without collateral damage. I think my last breakup, there was a small breakdown. And I think there was some narcissistic trauma as well, because when you're working with a triangulated system or a triangulated relationship system, your loyalty and devotion goes deeper because you're trying to work with this person to see what the narcissist is going to do. And narcissists, as you know, they are relentless, particularly covert ones, and they are not going to give in. And it's very complicated, but what happens is you become entrained. That person that you're with becomes more ingrained into you. That's what trauma does, and you have to be aware of this, and if you are aware of this, you can psychologically have some prevention to the entraining and conditioning that subconsciously might be trying to take place. If you're not aware of these things, you can be extremely damaged and broken and shattered. even to the point of suicide. That's how deep in training can go. But narcissists can do their work from a distance. They can infiltrate through a third person infiltration through the partner. And what I advise all of you people is this: a relationship's two persons. As soon as it becomes three persons and the other person agrees, leave the relationship. If the other person has no objections to this triangulated situation through children or siblings or family members, you need to leave, because you will be suffering from a trauma of some kind as a result. Relationships aren't easy. They take a lot of work. They take a lot of consciousness, but they are a very enjoyable part of life if you get it right. It's hard enough straight. I don't know how these people do it that are under substances and influences and things like this. I don't think they do. I think eventually they just end up on their own and make use of any supply that they can get. More of the low fruit on the ground sort of thing. And it never needed to be that way, but some people make choices that are just going to be that way for them. Some people just shut shop and they don't want a partner again. And I know how that feels now. And it's not very nice, to be honest. We can only take so many blows and then we have to heal. It doesn't mean we need to give in, but we have to give ourselves time to understand, to forgive, to show dignity to our past, and try and become better and stronger on the inside. There is a God, and He'll help us with His Spirit. He helps every day. And thank God for the Lord Jesus Christ. Many of you have a Christian heritage, but you don't and will not tap into it. It would do you good to do so. Anyway, in saying that, I hope this encourages somebody. This is Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, Theologist, New South Wales, Australia. Bye for now.